everyone, it's Fitz with the Daily Delivery. I hope you're doing well. On Thursday night, I was honored to be part of a roundtable discussion with Dr. Dan Keister's Kansas State Economics Club. It got wild. There were sub sandwiches and talk about sports. Hey, it was a really interesting discussion, and the topic that I want to cover right now is something that popped up during this discussion. What's the next step in conference realignment? What's the next thing that's going to go down? And this impacts the Big 12 maybe in a significant way. Let's start here. First, we know that the Big 12 has openly said they may look at further expansion. So they're going to 12, and I don't think there'll ever be any overlap with Oklahoma and Texas and the 4 new schools. I think everything will change with the 23 season. Everyone will be in the conferences. They want a lot to work out. It'll get there though. But the Pac-12's TV contracts run out in 2024. I think the Pac-12 is sitting out there ready to be rated. Now, I know a lot of you are probably saying, what's anyone going to do with teams on the West Coast? But this new TV era in which we're entering, in which these conferences seem to be determined to consolidate as much TV property into their conferences as possible, makes it quite possible that USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington, maybe Stanford's in the mix. 4 of those teams will be picked up in a West Coast pod for the Big Ten, maybe the SEC. Those are going to be the 2 big players. They seem determined now to wage a war with each other. I think that's why the Big 12 is waiting. They want to see what happens with that. And that should all start probably next year. We'll see if anyone's going to raid the Pac-12. And if that raid happens, then what happens to the rest of the Pac-12? There's been discussion maybe they just bring in all 8 schools back into what will be the Big 12 and have 20 teams. I don't see that. I don't think that's in their best interest. I say pick up 4 schools in this next round and add them to your conference. Arizona State, and Utah to go with BYU would be my choices. And then South Florida to round out another team in the East, so you have an Eastern pod. I don't know if we're even close to done with this. Once you start pulling key parts out of any conference, is the SEC going after Clemson and Florida State? It makes the other conferences quite weak. We saw that with the Big 12, and the Big 12 responded. But there's more to come. Stay tuned.